Pretty simple to do that. Of course, he's the only one that should remember, because there's so many cars do this. Certainly from a commentator's point of view, you normally decide either as a package when you see the motor cars, the colour of the helmets, or the most important of all, of course, is the numbers. Oh, problems here. 16 is Pironet and Dave Beecroft. They've been doing pretty well there. They were lying 16th overall, and they are at the moment 3rd in Class C, and they've struck trouble. Going to open the bonnet, and it looks pretty terminal in that Automark Toyota. And this is what a Castrol 9-hour event does to you as you get into the later part of the race. Those who fought it out in the beginning and put on a great show for the people that came out here are starting to regret they pushed those cars quite so hard. It's a difficult decision always to make. Do you go flat out? Because if you miss the pace in the beginning, you might be left behind at the end when the front runner actually gets away from you.
Bonus Sport for the best in sporting action.
So it's a calculated risk if you do that. You can try it. It's like a sprint race, in fact, if there's a hot pace up the front. But you can't afford just to go too far back on this as we're going with Steve Wyndham. Still hard at it. The concentration's been going on all afternoon. Coming down the Malmesbury Straight there. They come out of Sabat Corner. Then it's about a K. They'll be doing about 190 kilometers an hour. And the Wyndham car, there it is. And behind him we've got Johan Coetzee driving with Grant van Schalkwyk. That's Coetzee at the moment in the front. Better known for the West Bank racing and the Gearmax Skyline that he races. And also did very well in the Unos in the years that gone by. Here's Wyndham coming through. This was the style of racing that Wyndham loves, is getting in between the others. He comes past the pits. And it's the trees around the circuit that are causing that breakup. Those trees evidently are national monuments and can't be removed. Onto the brakes for Conti, and there's Wyndham. Car number 40. The decision will have to be made a little bit later, because in fact Charles Wilkin and Leon Marais are leading by just over 2 laps. So the decision maybe in the last hour will have to be decided to slow down their front running car, that Wyndham gets maximum points and takes the South African Production Car Championship. That's of course if the car's able, and I'm sure it is able, to last the entire pace, because Mark Edwards in the 1400cc class, and remember you get points in this race regardless of class, Edwards can win it overall. He's just 2 points behind this man. They go downhill there to Volkswagen corner. It's an anti-camber. This one, a camber goes against you as you come through. Still could see hard at work just behind him as they go up the Javert Straight and come into Sabat. It's a double right-hander. Keep your foot down. You don't let it go. You let it come to the outside of the circuit. You hit that curve and just tip the other one as you come out. And then you're down this long Malmesbury Straight. And before you put the brakes on, very, very hard for the standing corner at the end of the straight. Heavy on the brakes, and this is what's been hard on these cars today. Killarney doesn't give you much time to have a break at all. It's short straights, relatively short straights, and some very, very hard corners. The Castrol 9-hour challenge has been going now for 6 hours and 50 minutes.
They're in the home stretch with just over 2 hours to go.
And 2 hours it is. Gerald, as Wyndham goes about his work, a likely winner of the South African Production Car title. That, as you say, motorsport can make a total mockery of all that, even as in the last few stages. We had Michael Briggs winning it last year, and he always seemed to have some sort of drama right on the last lap. We'll be bringing you that at the end of the race. This production will be going on now until 7 o'clock, and then you'll be coming back to us at 9:30 to see the end of this race, and we show you some of the highlights of this race and who in fact is going to be the production car title. But you can smell the brides around the circuit as people settle in to watch this action as these drivers fight it out. It's been a hard season. There's been 12 national championship races around the country, always 2 races at each meeting, so in fact 24 races. And then when you come to the Castrol 9-hour to decide the South African Production Car Champion, you get 4 times the number of points. So instead of 9-6-4, 3-2-1, you get 36-24 and 12 points, 8, etc. Right, the circuit is still pretty full of cars. It looks empty just at the moment as they come up here, but of the 39 cars that started, we have still got 34 cars in the race. The leading car now has done 267 laps. If it's going to win the index, it's got to do another, let's have a look, 73 laps. It's got to do 340 and a half laps to win the index. And that's the car, the leader at the moment, Goddard at the wheel. and then Robbi Smith will be taking it over. They'll fill it with fuel. They're going to keep these tyres on, these Firestone tyres. They'll keep it on to the end. And of course, Goodyear very, very prominent on a lot of the other runners in this. We're in with Geoff Goddard at the moment in the BMW Satcar Racing colours. He goes down now to Volkswagen corner. Standard road-going motor car, very well prepared there by JSN Motors, a leading dealer for BMW. Of course, Johnny Stavros has been very much into the motorsport and showing what they can do. Had the Snitzer touch applied to the motor car, and they certainly know how to get the most out of a standard motor car. And as we said a little bit earlier, it just becomes passing cars after the first few laps. He's into the traffic, and it's a 9-hour traffic jam with very little peace or relaxing for the driver. As he comes up now on Robin Forbes and John Saunders, they were in fact in that Dawes Crane High Opel, were leading Class C, that's a 1400 class, until Mark Edwards, after the problems that he had, was able to get a little bit further up in the class and take over the lead. Well, Hendrick's down in the pits, and Robbi Smith, what's his feelings about how the rest of this race is going to be run and their chances of pulling off yet another overall win?
Thank you, Roger. Yes, indeed, Robbi, that is the question I want to ask you. How do you feel now, just on 2 hours to go, the last shift? How are you going to play it and make sure of an overall win?
Hendrick, I think now the nerves start coming into effect. Obviously, I'm going to have to really play it cool. The car is strong, but we've got a slight problem on the third gear. Our synchros are going, and we've really got to be careful because those boxes are not very strong when the synchros go. So Geoff's kept a fantastic pace out there. We've got to go a little bit quicker because we slipped back into second position on index, and I need to catch that up. And I think if I can keep up the pace of 29s, 30s right to the end, that's what I'm going to try and do.
Surely it must be very difficult, this transition from light to dusk to darkness.
Yeah, that is a problem. We're just getting our stuff ready to clean the windscreens now. And as you can see, we taped my visor up so that I can drive into the sunset, which is a hell of a thing to drive into. And, you know, if you get to some oil or something, you just can't see it. So I think it's a critical time of the race, and I've really got to use my brains and just stay on the circuit now.
Everything's still functioning well as far as you know, like brakes and gears and stuff like that?
I've just spoken to Geoff. There's no vibrations or anything. As I say, the only problem we've got is third gear. But the BMs tend to get that problem, and I don't think it's a major one. I've just got to nurse it through now until the end.
Thank you very much, Robbi Smith. Enjoy your last shift.
Thank you. Thanks.
Roger, back to you.
And he'll be getting into the car very shortly. Let's have a look at it again. Class A, 3 BMWs in front, 4 BMWs in the front. They are leading this race. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 up to Carlos. So Robbi Smith, Geoff Goddard in the JSN BMW. Peter Lance, Chad Wenzel, and Terry Lewis, the Australian second. They've been like that for all the race. And Carlos Capella with John Craig going out in the Opel Superboss. Carlos Capella and João Ribas are in third position in the BMW, with Paulo Capella in the family as well, and Marco dos Santos, a very, very talented young driver, fourth in Class A. Class B, Nick de Waal and Hannes Grobler took over the other car from team manager Peter de Waal, and they've now gone to the front of their class. They can only hope for trouble amongst Mark Edwards or the Toyota if they've got any chance of taking this champion. Johan Coetzee, always a very, very steady drive with Grant van Schalkwyk in that 2-litre 16-valve Nissan Sentra. And unfortunately that Steve Corner went out when leading this team. So there we have it now. It's at the moment Charles Wilkie and Marais are leading in Class C. And then
into TSS Bonus Sport from 9:30 until 10:30 p.m. tonight for the final report on the Castrol Challenge, presented for your enjoyment by Castrol.
Laaste uur en 'n half, 2 ure wat voor lê, die laaste skop vir die renjaars, en dit is nou waar dinge gaan begin gebeur in verjaar se Castrol 9 uur uithouwedren hier op Killarney in Kaapstad. Ons het gesê daar's 'n hele paar van die motors wat al begin bewys dat hulle nie in die toestand is wat hulle graag sou wil wees nie. Die renjaars is baie glo my, dis 'n baie harde moeilike wedren om aan deel te neem, met die konsentrasie wat 'n mens moet volhou, en dat jy moet seker maak dat jy nie die kleinste foutjie begaan nie. Ons het 'n paar keer gesien dat renjaars 'n paar foute maak, basiese klein foutjies, net te diep in 'n draai ingaan, of net te kort op die hakke van 'n ander motor en dan vasry. Daarmee is al die ure se werk en al die harde werk wat daar gegaan het daarmee hier. So dit is wat nou voor lê. Ons gaan vir die hoogtepunte daarvan bring, en ons gaan vir later dit bring. van nou af, eers van hier af tot ziens.
Nissan hopes that you have enjoyed this TSS Bonus Sport live report from the action-packed Castrol Challenge at Killarney.
A lot of action and excitement all the way to the finish. There was drama as well. We're going to show you a highlights package of the drama. But keeping tabs on a racing motor car is quite a scientific job. And a man who's revolutionized timekeeping has been Geoff Randall. Let's see how he goes about it.
Rob, tell us a little bit about what's going on here in the timekeeping box today.
Okay, Basil, we're currently running the AA Motorsport control transponder system, and we're also running our own manual backup so that we've got a triple level backup for scoring of the race.
Geoff, what happens if the electricity goes off?
We have an uninterruptible power supply which is just cut in, perfectly on song, so that when we lose ESCOM power, we have 3 12-volt batteries which will last up to 10 hours to enable the system to keep running.
If there's any bug in the system, if the system goes down, how do you then keep track of all these motor cars circulating?
We have light beams as well as transponders, which will therefore enable us to capture the vehicle's times as they pass on every lap.
What is a transponder? Just explain the system to us.
A little transponder is a piece of electronic gadgetry, rather like a radio signal, that is unique on each car. And each car has a little yellow box about the size of a packet of cigarettes. And every time the vehicle goes over the line, the transponder sends back a signal to the computer uniquely identifying the car and the time the vehicle passed.
Is there any possibility that this could go wrong?
Nothing can go wrong, go wrong, go wrong.
And what would be the situation if the system went down completely? How would you then keep track?
I don't know, because I'd throw myself out the window.
Geoff, just looking at the system, we see there's a few things down on the line. That's obviously the transponder that you're talking about, the timekeeping transponder.
On the line itself, there is an aerial in the track. At the far side of the racetrack, we have a photocell, which is actually the time recording mechanism. Every time the photocell beam is broken, the time is sent back to the computer, and also the transponder tells the computer the number of the vehicle that broke the photocell light beam.
What we're really looking at here is the same system as they use in Grand Prix?
Identical.
And so there's no arguments afterwards about who's done what times and how many laps each one's done?
There is always an argument about who's done what times, but there is never any argument about the finishing order of the race.
So this is really foolproof?
We hope so. We've had it in place now for over a year, and we've had no complaints so far.
Pull the bonnet, somebody get a headlight, somebody take the radiator out.
What's the problem?
Well, basically, normal racing accident. We had 2 cars spun in front of me. Lupini just overtaken as we went into Stanek. And unfortunately, the car in front stopped a little quicker than I expected it to. And with a bit of assistance from the car behind me, I hit into it.
It looks like you guys will have it repaired and go in soon.
We're hoping to, but we've also got a problem with the front left wheel bearing is actually gone. So we're gonna try and run it till it stops.
Alles die aksie wat deur die loop van die dag gebeur het, 'n klomp
You're obviously
insidente.
monitoring what the mechanics and what they're doing on the car.
That's correct, yes.
How many
We allow 3 mechanics to work on the car. We'll be very, very careful about that.
Okay, we'll have to go like that. What? This is the final stint for you. This could be the South African Production Car Championship.
Yeah, we're going to go out and see what we can do. I believe we've got a broken headlight, which may sort of cause a problem in the dark, but we're going to see what we can do.
The problems you were having earlier, they seem to be sorted out.
Well, improved. We've made some improvements, yeah.
Carlo, it's been a tough 2-hour session out.
Yeah, it's the toughest of my life,
firstly I have to run with my heater on, okay, all the time because my car is overheating. So they say that, you know, with the heater on, it actually cools down the car a bit. I was getting pressed from behind, okay, from that Australian guy, okay, that's riding with Peter Lawrence. He was pressurizing me the whole way through. And, you know, it's tiring, you know. It really gets tough out there, especially with the traffic, you know.
How do you prevent dehydration?
Well, I got a water bottle there in the car. But this session that I went out now, the water bottle was empty.
What have you got in the water bottle? Any special additives?
Brandy and Coke. No, water. Water.
Just plain water?
Yeah.
They say it's the toughest session you've ever had.
It's the toughest session I've ever had.
Later in die aand en die spanning is besig om al meer en
This
meer
could
op
be
te
the
daag.
South Construction Car Championships for you. How do you feel?
So much is hanging in the balance now that it's nerve-wracking. I'm really full of tweaked up with nerves, but obviously I must just go for it, you know, and try and keep up the times. We're going to wind it right to the end now.
You have a 12-lap advantage.
We've got an advantage, but Mark Edwards has pulled away and leading us on index now. So obviously I must just go for it, you know, and try and keep up the times. We're going to wind it right to the end now.
You have a 12-lap advantage.
We've got an advantage, but Mark Edwards has pulled away and leading us on index now. So we've got to try and get our index lead back as well, which I'm going to try and do.
And what about the gearbox problem?
I think we can live with it. You know, I'm used to that with the BMs. They tend to do it. But, you know, the boxers worked very hard today, so it can be expected. But I'm sure it's going to see the distance.
Robbi Smith wat in daardie stadium nog steeds baie gemakkelijk voorgeloop het. En by die kuipe aandoen. Die bestuurder achter die stuurwiel in daardie stadium was Geoff Goddard. En Robbi Smith het gereed gemaakt vir sy laaste skop. Die son begin water trek in die weste en dit gaan waarskynlik die moeilikste skop wees van die hele wedren. Die spanning loop hoog, nie net in die kuipe nie, maar ook in die hart van die renjaar natuurlik, veral as jy voorloop en jy wag vir dinge om te gebeur.
We're changing the pads now.
Only the pads?
Yeah, only the pads. It's just in case, you know, it's maybe we could go to the end, but it's too much risk.
Ali Strasser, die motorsportbestuurder van BMW Motorsport, wat baie hulp gegee het aan die JSN Motors BMW van Robbi Smith en Geoff Goddard. Goddard wat baie bekommerd nog daar staan en seker maak dat dinge nie verkeerd loop nie. Remme moet aanwees en brandstof word ingesit, bande word omgeruil. Robbi Smith is gereed om uit te gaan vir sy laaste skop. Maar soos wat ons ken, soos wat ons weet wat gebeur in langafstand wedrenne, is dinge geneig om verkeerd te loop tot heel aan die einde. Daarom is die spanning baie hoog en kan enigiets nog gebeur.
Geoff Goddard just having done his final stint going into the caravan. Geoff, that was quite a hot stint, not as hot as the earlier one, but this is where you rest off the racing.
Hell of a lot cooler that time. Well, I'm finished now and the car's running dead right. We've changed the rear pads during that stop just to make sure that we're going to go to the end. It was touch and go whether we were going to make it on the rear pads, having looked at them now. So I think it was the right decision to go that way. And during the last 8 laps I was out there, the tyres were going off quite quickly, so we've gone for new tyres all round again, which we didn't necessarily have to, but it's a safety precaution again.
'n geweldige warm dag gewees. Die temperature op die baan was tot 45 grade, hulle die temperatuur gemeet en dit is die motor van die Suid-Afrikaanse gilde van motorjoernaliste wat in een of ander insident betrokke was. Jy kan sien die brandweermanne is gereed. Daar het inderdaad 'n brand uitgebreek in die kuipe daar van daardie motors of van daardie motor. As gevolg van 'n probleem wat met die brandstofvervanging ingesluip het en jy kan sien dat die brandblussers se poeier lê daar op die grond. Gelukkig geen ernstige insident nie en geen ernstige beserings aan enige kant nie. Motor weer in die wedren en ek moet sê 'n baie goeie vertoning daar deur 3 motorsportjoernaliste van Suid-Afrika se bekendste publikasies.
Fire on Burford's car was caused by the fumes from the hot exhaust after these 7 hours of driving. I saw it catching alight. It's terrible. Fire is dangerous. You will never get away from it.
The South African Championships, Production Car Championships, will be decided in the next hour or so. Mark's at this stage looking like he could win it. Steve Wyndham in second place. How are you feeling?
Feeling great. If we can keep it up and we can stay there, we'll be great. I think Wyndham, I believe, is 3 laps in the rear, but being a production car, you never know. So I think we've got a chance to win it. If Mark keeps smooth like he is now, we are there.
A little bit nervous?
Very nervous. Oh, yes, yeah.
It's been a long season.
Very long season, a very good season for us. I think everything's just kept together for us and gone very, very well, yeah.
Nervous at this stage?
I think we are a tinge nervous, yes. Hopefully nothing goes wrong until the end of the race, and if so, it'll be a great win for him as well.
Op die oomblik gaan dit nog baie goed met ons. Ons lê dink ek 4 of 5 dae overall. Die wedren het deur die dag vir ons redelik goed verloop, behalwe dat ons 1 kar verloor het. Ons het toe oorgeskakel na een van die ander karre toe wat Pieter de Waal en Den Hol gery het. Wat in daai stadium baie goed gelê het, my 6de overall. En ek het Nick het oorgevat en Nick moes definitief net 3 ure ry om punte te kan tel op die kampioenskap. So Nick is op die oomblik besig om die laaste skof te ry van 1 uur en 'n half. Maar ek dink ons kar het baie goed gegaan, want dit is die eerste maal wat ons die sentras het. Voorheen het ons met die Uno's die laaste 2 jaar het ons baie goed gedoen en ek dink ons kan dit weer doen hierdie jaar.
En met die son wat weggesak het agter die Westerkim, so teen ongeveer 'n uur voordat die einde van die wedren sou aanbreek, het die dinge begin moeilik raak vir die renjaars agter die stuur. Jy kan sien ons kameras wat probeer om soveel as moontlik lig in die lense in te kry, maar daardie renjaars sukkel baie om goed te sien. Dis 'n baie moeilike tydperk van die wedren hier. Robbi Smith daar, motor nommer 1, wat sukkel met net 1 linker voorlig wat werklik goed brand. En dit beteken natuurlik dat hy gebrek aan uitsig het na vorentoe. En hy moet nou extra ernstig konsentreer. Met die geel lig aan sy regter voordeur, dis die enigste manier waarop mense hom kan uitken. En Robbi Smith wat baie hard sal moet konsentreer. Die stadiger motors wat vir hom 'n ernstige probleem skep, is natuurlik nie te veel van 'n probleem indien hy 'n motor voor hom het wie se ligte hy kan gebruik nie, maar omdat hy die vinnigste motor op die baan is dit nie baie lank wat hy die verligting kry van 'n ander motor se ligte nie. En Robbi Smith natuurlik wat voorloop. Die ander probleem is natuurlik dat die stadiger motors nie altyd kan weet dat dit hy is wat nader kom nie. Mense sien doodgewoon net die helder voorligte in jou triespieeltjie en jy weet nie watter motor dit is nie en jy weet ook nie hoe vinnig hy op jou afkom nie. Met ander woorde, dit kan gebeur dat van die stadiger motors dalk net onwillekeurig in sy pad kan kom en Robbi Smith nou werklik onder hoogspanning hier aan die einde van die dag se wedren. 9 ure se uithou wedren is 'n baie lang wedren en mense is geneig om te begin ontspan hier in die einde van die wedren, emosioneel gesproke, en jy is geneig om jou konsentrasie te begin verloor, want jy dink as nog net 'n kort rukkie oor in die wedren, en dit is dan wanneer dinge verkeerd gaan. Robbi Smith is egter 'n uiters professionele renjaer. Mens kan sien dat hy daar die sterk van sy motor 'n bietjie dwars kry daar deur Continental draai. Nog steeds baie ernstig wat hy moet konsentreer om daardie motor onder beheer te hou, en natuurlik in die donker nag is dit baie moeilik. Mens kan nie altyd sien waar die draai heen gaan nie. Al ken jy die baan baie goed, die toestande is heeltemal anders wanneer dit donker is, en dit stel heeltemal ander eise aan 'n mens. In daardie stadium was Robbi Smith nog steeds voor in klas A.
Well, we're into the final hour now. It should be routine to the end of this race. We've done the 8 hours. We're into, as I say, the final hour. Pits are pretty empty, but we've got Brian Hoskins here. There's a little bit of doubt, Brian, what the Toyota's plans are. At the moment, Charles Wilkie and Leon Marais are leading that class. But more important, we think, for them, is that Steve Wyndham, who's a couple of laps behind at the moment, they want him to win the South African Production Car Drivers' Championship. Now, is Wyndham allowed to get into the leading conquest?
Roger, you sure they can put Wyndham into leading conquest, but as far as the South African Championship is concerned, then he won't qualify.
But what would he qualify here?
He would qualify for nothing effectively, because he has to be behind that particular steering wheel for a maximum or minimum, for one of words, 3 hours.
Of 3 hours. So if he is not into the motor car now, he really can't get into it.
Well, he should have been in it 3 hours ago, effectively. So that's it.
So do you, just in your heart of hearts, or what you know about long-distance racing, we can't seem to get the plans out of Toyota at the moment. Do you think they will slow their leading car down and give Wyndham the South African Production Car title?
Well, effectively, from what I heard, I'll answer that with a smile.
En daar het baie woorde heen en weer gevlieg en baie ernstig beplanning is gedoen in die Toyota kamp. Wat gaan hulle doen? Dit was die groot vraag geweest. Steve Wyndham, wat voorloop in die Suid-Afrikaanse produksiemotorkampioenskapsreeks, was in daardie stadium tweede in klas, 3 rondes agter die voorlopers Charles Wilkie en hulle. En die vraag wat gestel is, was wat gaan Toyota doen? Gaan hulle toelaat dat die Vulcan motor stadiger jaag, gaan hulle vir hulle opdrag gee om stadiger te ry sodat die Windham motor by hulle kan verbykom, of gaan hulle doodgewoon net toelaat dat die twee manne die sake uitspook? Op daardie stadium was Charles Vulcan hulle ook voor wat voorgee betref, en dit is ook 'n baie belangrike titel in hierdie spesifieke wedren, want dit is, soos ons al reeds vroeër gesê het, die formule wat gebruik word om die veld gelyk te maak sodat enige motor van die vinnigstes tot die stadigstes hierdie motor kan wen. En die beplanning is gedoen, die strategie, gesprekke is gevorm, daar is baie gesprekke natuurlik per radio tussen die motors en die of die kuiperspan van Toyota, en op die ou end het hulle tot 'n besluit gekom. Ons sal u net daarvan inlig, maar u kan sien wat die toestande is. Baie donker natuurlik en baie moeilik om te ry, veral met die groot spoedverskil tussen die vinniger motors en die stadiger motortjies. Dit is baie moeilik wanneer jy agter die stuur van daai motor sit en jy sien net hierdie groot klomp ligte wat op jou afstorm, veral as jy 'n stadiger motortjie jaag. Jy het geen idee wie dit is nie, hoe vinnig hulle ry nie. En ons kan daar
Bonus Sport for the best in sporting action.
Leon Marais has been brought into the pits. This is the leading car in Class C, the Toyota Audemars Conquest. And he's been brought in now. He's got to give Steve Windham a chance of winning this championship. Who will be waiting to see it. He's got to wait for 3 laps. That's the distance they were ahead, with Windham having that slipping clutch problem. And Leon Marais has come into the pits there to give the other car a chance on the road, which has got Mike White at the wheel, give him a chance to overtake them in this race and to take the South African Production Car Championship. So it's sporting on the part of these drivers here. They've been brought into the pits. They've had furious pit signals out over the pit wall. Disappointing for the drivers that have gone so hard, but there's a championship at stake. And with Leon Marais at the wheel of this car, he's going to be sitting here for 3 laps. And the big problem is, of course, if they miscount the laps by 1 even, they've got to be very, very accurate in their accounting, and this because they might just lose by 1 lap. They were 3 laps ahead at the moment. Steve Windham is watching what's going to happen. There's Leon Marais' wife, Marge, next to him there, and they're just watching. And this means a championship is going to come his way. It's going to be a championship win if he finishes, of course, the next 10 minutes here. And it's going to, they'll be overtaking this car. Whammy had it, the team manager's looking at his stopwatch to know that they've stopped for enough time. And this is what it is in a big team, of course. They want to take the South African Production Car Championship, and this is how you've got to do it. It's been a great effort on Toyota's part. There was doubt of how they were going to play this one. The other was to slow down the leading car, but this seems to be the simpler way of doing it. It's a much cleaner way, provided, of course, they don't miscount the laps. And then they'll be in serious trouble, because we're into the final 10 minutes now. And this miscalculation here, which I doubt is ever going to happen. They're such a professional team. So Leon Marais will go out to finish the last few minutes of the race. He's been sharing the car with Charles Wilkie. The car has not missed a beat. But the other car that was having a slipping clutch, they were suffering from a bit of clutch problem. They also went off the road and damaged the front suspension. It slowed them down. And this car has been running like an absolute train the whole afternoon, and as this team is always run, in fact. So the mechanics are quite happy about this. Is going to give them... it might ruin the index of performance win. We'll have to wait to the end of the race, but the man that really counts is the South African Production Car Drivers Championship. And that's going to go the way of Steve Windham, who's been at it over 24 races this year, and this is the big one that counts. You pick up 36 points, provided, of course, they've done it right, which I have no doubt that they are going to do right now. In the front there is Robbi Smith. They came in a little bit earlier as we go into these final minutes. They had a puncture. And Robbi Smith, of course, battling to see. He's got 2 operative lights. One of them is not too bright at all, and he's having problems seeing his way around the circuit. It's okay when you're behind another car, but when you're the fastest car, of course, you're passing all these cars all the time. And these pits are getting busy. Well, let's hope the calculations have been right. As Leon Marais gets back on the circuit, there's his co-driver, Charles Wilkin, had a very good year. He's won his class D in the West Bank Modified. He was leading, and of course, in this class, and they've now given the championship there to Steve Windham. So Leon Marais had a long history, not only in these cars, but also in Opals as well. So Robbi Smith is out there going for his 2nd win in a row of the Castrol 9 now. We've got Mark Edwards, hopefully wanting this car not to finish. It's not the sporting way to do it, but he was 2 points behind, and that's how he's going to remain till the end of this race.
En ons gaan net hoor wat het Steve Windham te sê gehad oor die feit dat hy die kampioenskap gewen het, terwyl die ander motors nog steeds so vinnig as moontlik in die donkerte om die baan probeer sirkuleer.
Right, Steve, the championship is yours. It's been a technical decision. I saw you looking a little bit worried earlier on.
Yeah, we were a bit worried. Well, I was going to originally jump into the other car. We thought we'll try and keep both cars running. It's just a pity it had to work out that way. But the guys have really worked all year. Reddick and Mike White have prepared a good car. And actually, Leon and Charles drove very well. And they actually deserved to win, but it's pretty that it worked out that way. But I'm pleased. We've had a good year, you know, it's all three out.
And a hard race from the beginning. You went at quite a pace at the beginning. They're taking on the 2-litre Nissan.
Yeah. It was a tough pace. They were going, and eventually they drove the Nissan into the ground. And but we were lapping well until we had a little bit of a clutch problem, and then also that brake problem in the pits, unfortunately.
So it hasn't been without incident.
No, plenty. There's always lots of incidents in the 9-hour, but I'm glad we've had a good year. The car went very well. I mean, we only had one race we never won.
Well, Steve, I must say congratulations from all of us. It's been a great season. You certainly provided a lot of great entertainment. Well done, and congratulations from all of us.
Thanks very much, Roger. That's great.
En die skare wat begin om fees te vier hier aan die einde van die dag se ontspanning wat hulle geniet het. En ek moet sê daar was 'n goeie ondersteuning van die Wes-Kaaplandse motorsport ondersteuners gewees. Die vure aan die brand vir die vleisbraaie en die drinkgoedjies aan die einde van die dag, en dit terwyl die renjaars nog steeds onder hoogspanning hard probeer om die wedren te voltooi. Dit sal natuurlik 'n groot tragedie wees vir enige span om hier aan die einde van die dag met 'n paar minute wat oorbly nog die iets verkeerd te laat loop en al die harde werk daarmee dan te laat verniet word. So 'n paar minute wat oorbly, nog steeds Robbi Smith wat die algehele voorloper is. Charles Wilkenhulle wat die algehele voorloper was in die wat die voorgee betref, en daar was twyfel oor of Robbi Smith hulle nie dalk op die ou end by Wilkenhulle sou verbykom in die voorgee nie. Dit sal ons net vir u sê. Maar intussen is die renjaars nog steeds besig om te sirkuleer. Ons gaan ook probeer om met Robbi Smith te gesels as hy sy laaste paar rondes aflê hier op Killarney in Kaapstad. En werklik 'n dag van harde werk vir die tegniese spanne, vir die renjaars, vir die produksiespersoneel, maar 'n baie bevredigende dag dink ek vir die manne wat sukses behaal het, en ook die wat net deelgeneem het net vir die pret daarvan. Want op die ouend gaan dit daaroor om te kan sê ek het deelgeneem aan die Castrol 9 uur en ek het die wedren voltooi. Of wat 'n groot jammerte as dit of dat net nie gebeur het nie, dan sou dinge veel beter verloop het. En dit is maar soos wat motorsport werk. Robbi Smith daar met die helder geel lig wat daar by ons kameras verbykom. Moeilike taak ook natuurlik deur die kameramanne wat hier verrig het. Met die klein monitors wat hulle het, kan hulle in swart en wit slegs die ligte sien, en baie moeilik natuurlik om die regte motor te volg, en ek moet sê 'n goeie werk wat hulle gedoen het. Ons gaan nou probeer om met Robbi Smith te gesels. Hier aan die einde van die dag se wedren, nog so 'n paar minute wat oorbly. En Robbi Smith met ons in radioverbinding hier in die kommentaarhok. Net probeer om verbinding daar te bewerkstellig. En terwyl dit aan die gang is, nog steeds drama op die in die kuipe. Motor nommer 35 is die van Hilton Spark, Bernstein en Dave Sinclair. 'n Brandstofprobleem of 'n ander tipe van tegniese probleem, en die motor word stadig ingestoot in die kuipe. 'n Groot jammerte natuurlik, indien dit 'n ernstige probleem was, dat hulle hier aan die einde van die dag nie die wedren kon voltooi nie. Ons probeer nog steeds om met Robbi Smith in verbinding te tree. Ons volg op die oomblik vir Robbi Smith, die man wat voorloop in klas A, en wat ons vermoed wat waarskynlik ook gaan voorloop op die voorgee as gevolg van die besluit van Toyota om vir Charles Wilkenhulle af te bring en tyd te gee vir Steve Windham hulle om op te gaan. Charles Wilkenhulle was voor gewees op index of die voorgee, en ons vermoed dat Robbi Smith waarskynlik nou by hom verbygegaan het. Dit gaan 'n besondere vertoning wees indien Smith daarin slaag om ook nog die voorgee te wen. Ons gaan kyk of ons met hom kan praat per radio. Ons gee hom net kans om in die agterste pouvak in te kom. Robbi Smith, we're talking to you live now. You've got a lap and a half to go. How's it feeling?
Fine, but I've had a problem right since the dark. We've only got one headlight, so I'm really battling to see where I am.
Okay, Robbi, we'll be following your progress, and I know you have to concentrate, so I'll just keep on going, and we'll speak to you just now. You must have about one lap to go.
Roger, yes, I'm coming down the pit straight now. Just approaching the pits, and we're going to go under the Goddard bridge now.
Die stem van Robbi Smith. Ons gaan hom probeer volg. Dit is natuurlijk baie moeilik om hierdie, daar is hy met die geel lig aan die linkerkant van beeld, soos wat ons nou kyk. Deur Continental draai nou. Hy is op sy laaste ronde en ons gaan probeer om met hom in kontak te bly sodra hy in die agterste pouvak kom. En ons gaan kyk of ons hom kan kry om vir ons te beskryf wanneer hy oor die wenstreep jaag. Robbi Smith op sy laaste ronde. Robbi, you're on your last lap, according to our count. How does it feel? And will you please take us around until you get the checkered flag? I can see it waiting for you.
Roger, I'm going through damps now, just coming up. As you can see, it's very, very dark. Just going to go through Malmesbury now, we hope for the last time. But it's been a very good race. The car's handled brilliantly well. We've had no problems really other than that slight gearbox problem, but I really don't think that's been a big deal. We're going down the straight now. You can see the speedo is working again. Just get rid of these guys here. Bit of traffic to get through here, and then I can get through. We're coming down to the pit straight now, but the car still feels very good, and it's I think it's gone well the whole way. Here comes the flag, so the team is delighted. Fantastic, we've done it. A very special thanks, first of all, to Geoff Goddard. He drove magnificently well. All the guys from BMW, JSN, Peter Kaye-Eddie. And I don't know if you can hear the noise. I think the motor's broken a rocker as we went over the start line.
Robbi, that's tremendous. Thank you very much. You can slow down now. How does it feel to have won this race after such a tremendous battle?
It's fantastic, you know, Henrik. I've won this race. This is my 6th time all in all, if you count the 3 hours from the years gone by. And I still think the 9 hours the best one of all.
Well, we're going to crack the champagne bottles with you later on. So, Robbi Smith, congratulations from the whole team. What a tremendous race you had, and well done.
Hendrik, thank you very much, and thanks everyone again for a fantastic day. Castrol especially, they put on a wonderful day here, and we've enjoyed it.
Castrol congratulates all the winners on a job well done.
En die finale uitslag dan van die 1993 Castrol 9 uur uitwedren op Killarney in Kaapstad. Robbi Smith en Geoff Goddard in die JSN Motors BMW algeheel eerste en natuurlijk eerste in klas A. Uitstekende vertoning deur hierdie span wat werklik vir jaar skoonskip gemaak het in hierdie klas. Peter Lance, Chad Wenzel en Terry Lewis, die Australiër wat saam met hulle gejaag het in die tweede plek in klas A. Carlos Capella, Joao Ribas, een van die Mosambiekse deelnemers hier vandag in die derde plek in klas A, en Paulo Capella, die seun van Carlos, saam met Marco dos Santos in die vierde posisie. Klas B, gewen deur Nick de Waal en Hannes Grobler in hulle BP Nissan Sentra 200 STI, gevolg deur 'n soortgelyke motorbestuur deur Johan Coetzee en Grant van Skalkwyk. Weer eens 'n goeie vertoning. Ongelukkig vir Nick de Waal het hulle oorspronklike motor vroeër in die wedren verloor en hulle moes oorgaan in die motor van Pieter de Waal en Nick, of liewer en Glenn Hall. Klas C gewen deur Steve Windham en Mike White, en dit was die vertoning van die dag. Steve Windham wat dan met hierdie oorwinning die algehele Suid-Afrikaanse produksiemotor kampioen word vir 1993, en hy wen daarmee ook natuurlik klas C. Charles Wilken en Leon Marie, 'n bietjie ongelukkig sou mens miskien sê om nie die klas te wen nie, maar dit is waarskynlik belangriker vir die vervaardiger om die algehele kampioenskap agter hulle naam te kry. Hulle eindig dan tweede en hulle word gevolg deur die Volkswagen Golf van Seigrenair en Brian Monder. Die rest van die manne het deurgekom, onder andere Ian Shrosby, Adrian Burfoot en Dennis Dropper in die 5de plek. In klas C, dis die motor van die Suid-Afrikaanse gilde van motorjoernaliste, ook 'n 16-klep Toyota Conquest, en hulle eindig dan 5de, en Pirone en Beecroft in die 6de posisie in daardie klas. Geneel de Villiers en Kurt Elson 'n baie gemaklike oorwinning in klas D, nooit werklike teenstand gehad nie, nadat Roddy Turner hulle probleme opgetel het vroeër in die wedren met 'n radkas, en Geneel de Villiers hulle baie gemaklik gewen in klas D. Dan kry en Jesse Huggett het tweede gekom in klas D. In klas E het ons gehad vir Mark Edwards en Lawrence Boshoff. Klas E is gewen deur Mark Edwards en Lawrence Boshoff in hulle Open Cadet Cup, en hulle het natuurlik ook volpunte gekry daar in die klas. Tweede geëindig dan in die Suid-Afrikaanse produksiemotorkampioenskap deur Edwards aan die einde van hierdie seisoen. Daar is hy, Mark Edwards en Lawrence Boshoff dan in die tweede plek. Michele en Paolo Lupini, twee broers wat deelgeneem het in die tweede plek, gevolg deur Forbes en Saunders. Jaffer en Van Noord wat 'n baie goeie vierde plek daar loslaan, en Louis Gous, beter bekend as 'n motorsportfotograaf, saam met Pieter Oosthuizen in die 5de posisie. Nog verdere uitslae daar in klas E, 'n groot klomp motors wat in klas E deelgeneem het, en die grootste klas om die waarheid te sê. Algeheel, Robbi Smith en Geoff Goddard dan in die eerste plek, algeheel gevolg deur Pierre Lance en Chad Wenzel, saam met Terry Lewis in die tweede plek. 3 BMW's dan in die top 3. Gevolg deur Nick de Waal, eerste in klas B en 4de algeheel, en saam met Hannes Grodder in hulle Nissan Sentra. Steve Windham eerste in klas C, 5de algeheel, en Charles Wilk en hulle spanmaat 6de algeheel en tweede in klas C. Nou ja, daar was natuurlik groot feesvieringe gewees aan die einde van hierdie wedren, en veral in die BMW kamp het die champagne gespuit.
Okay, well, we've got Robbi Smith here, the winner of the race, with Geoff Goddard. Here, the two of them. Robbi, fantastic drive. Second win in a row for you.
Yeah, Roger, I loved it. It was a fantastic race. It went so well for us. Of course, Jeffrey was the boy too. He just drove superbly. All the guys from BM worked so well. And BMW never missed a beat.
You guys have done well, Geoff. You won it in 1984, and here you are again. Same old firm back in business.
Yeah, I was won the thing with Rob last time, and here we are again. Fantastic.
It was fantastic, and it shows that age comes brings experience with it.
I think so, Rod. Yeah, why not?
Right, let's talk to the owner of the car, Johnny Stavros. Let's have a look. Here's the man, the JSN. Johnny, we've seen you smoke a lot of cigarettes this afternoon. John? You've smoked a lot of cigarettes this afternoon. How are you feeling now?
The longest 9 hours in my life, believe me. These guys drove like superstars. Kaye-Eddie with the team, Firestone with the tyres, and the boys around here, they were absolute superstars. He gave us a bit of a fright the last half hour, that puncher, but I don't know. That's it for today.
Well done there, guys. Overall win in the Castrol 9. We've got Chris Lamarquite. Where's Chris? Bringing the champagne. Here we are. The marketing director of Castrol. Here we are. And here's Chris congratulating the two drivers. Everybody, of course, to stand back.
Coming up to the end of it.
We've got Lawrence Boshoff and Herbie Edwards. Good win for you guys in Class E.
Yes, came a long way. We deserved it. We led the race for most of this race. Last 10 minutes, Mark was running on empty, in the red, reserve, and my nerves are finished.
Unfortunately, Herbie, you missed the South African Production Car Championship by 2 points, but still Class E champion for the year.
Yeah, it was very good. It's unfortunate the Toyota team did what they did, but we're there anyway. We tried. That's it, yeah.
Next year, what's your plans, Lawrence?
Next year I'm going to win Class E and hopefully win a trip to the Jim Russell School.
Mark Edwards lost the South African Production Car Championship by 2 points, but still Class E champion for the year. Well done.
Thank you. I'm a little bit disappointed on what Toyota had to do to win the championship, but that's racing, I guess.
The last few minutes you had petrol problems?
Yeah, very, very low on petrol. We had a problem filling up on my last stop. The petrol tank ran, the filler tank ran empty, and yeah, we just took a chance, and it paid off.
Michelle Lupini and then pushed you right at the end. A good race.
Yes, very impressed. They went very, very well. I was a little bit worried about them the last 20 minutes or so because I was concerned with the petrol, but I managed to hang in there. And well done, Michele.
Michele Lupini, you and your brother finishing second. You must be very pleased with that.
We're very, very pleased, especially with the car's lap times being a couple of seconds off everyone else's. We put a perfect run together, had hardly any problems, had a bit of a train smash into the straight, the one race. Mark's car was also involved. But otherwise, nothing wrong. Did everything right, and for once, we did well in the 9-hour.
This is your best performance in the 9-hour?
Oh, definitely. The first time we've done anything in the 9-hour.
Peter, it was a hard one.
It was, you know, and like all 9 hours, it's to do with team work, and I think the race for us was won in the pits. It was a difficult one. We had lots of small problems, and the interesting thing was that in the end it was Glenn and myself's car, which we then gave to Nick and Hannes, which won it, which I think, again, just shows how much of a team effort it is.
You must be very proud of your two drivers.
No, I am. I think everybody did their best, and it's not only the drivers, it's also the people behind the scenes that make it do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, I'm very happy. But I must thank Peter and Glenn for giving us their car. You know, without that car, we couldn't have won the race today in Class B, since we had problems with our car. So it was really a team effort.
I'm sure it was. And Hannes, so 3/4 van die uur terug het jy vir my gesê die senuwees kan nie meer langer hou nie. Jy het dit gedoen.
Ja nee, dit is nou verby en ons is bly om by einde te wees en as ek sê ja, Glenn en Pieter het hulle kar vir ons gegee en ons is baie bly daaroor en ek dink Nick het nou goed gedoen op die kampioenskap. So is goed vir Nissan en die vlaggie het gewaai van Nissan vandag.
General de Villiers, good win today in the Castrol Challenge in Class D.
Yeah, definitely. We just had some trouble towards the end with the lifters, but we came in for a quick pit stop through a leader of oiling, and then that was it. And it went perfectly. No troubles, no hassles with the car. The car went perfectly, and Kurt drove well, and I want to thank him. And it's just magic to have won it for once.
And this certainly must be good for you. You've also now won Class D of the Standing Group N National Championship.
Yeah, no. The production car, I'm still fourth. Everyone won their classes. Robbi, Mark and Steve, and I just want to congratulate Steve on his win. I think he deserves it, and I think it was a great 9-hour.
Kurt Elchin, you must be very happy with the situation.
Yeah, no, it went very well. The team was very good. I must commend our mechanics as well. They were brilliant. Without them, the car wouldn't have gone as well as it did go.
Well, that's it. That's the National Championship Motor Racing season for 1993 over. The Castrol 9-hour has brought it to an end with a new South African production car champion. Of course, that is Steve Wyndham. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing this race to you from Killarney. It's been a hot day. We've had the action and the drama. And from the whole crew here, from Video Sport, from Rod Waitman, our producer, and the whole team of cameramen and sound engineers and commentators, thanks very much for watching, and we look forward to bringing you more action in 1994.
Castrol is proud of its 10-year association with the Castrol Challenge and, along with TSS Bonus Sport and associate sponsors Firestone, Nissan and Toyota, is privileged to have shared the experience with you.